When women in rural communities are denied access to education and opportunity, the entire community suffers. But when just one woman is trained to harness the power of the sun, something transformative happens. Homes are lit, children can study after dark, income is generated, and hope begins to spread. This is more than just a story about solar panels. It's a story about empowerment, resilience, and redefining what's possible. Hey, everybody. I'm Stephen Shower, and welcome to Stories Sustain Us, where we explore the extraordinary journeys of people working to build a more just and sustainable world. In today's episode, I sit down with Brenda Geofrey, the dynamic country director of Barefoot College International in Zanzibar, Tanzania. Brenda has devoted her life to empowering women and girls, especially those who have been overlooked or excluded by traditional systems. We'll talk about how she helps women become solar engineers, master beekeeping, learn tailoring, and embrace regenerative agriculture, all without requiring formal education. We'll also hear about the Enrich program, which helps rural women develop leadership skills, and how Brenda's work is changing lives across East Africa. Brenda brings over 9 years of experience in project management, evaluation, and grassroots development. Raised in a family that championed gender equality, she always believed in the potential of women to lead. Her work spans from uplifting teenage mothers in Tanzania's Morogoro region to providing life-changing eye care services in Zanzibar. She's a proud member of the African Women Leaders Network, a U.S. Academy of Women Entrepreneurs alum, and currently sharpening her leadership skills at the prestigious Ungazi Institute. Today's conversation is a powerful reminder that with the right support and training, women who have never set foot in a classroom can light up their villages, literally and figuratively, and become role models for generations to come. So get ready to be inspired as we learn how Brenda is helping women electrify their homes and their futures here on Stories Sustain Us, where we are inspiring action through the power of storytelling. Brenda, hi. Welcome to Stories Sustain Us. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Stephen. Thank
How
you
are
for
you doing?
inviting us.
I'm so honored to have you on the show. I've been excited and looking forward to this conversation for a few weeks now, ever since we've kind of connected on email. So thank you so much for accepting the invitation and joining me today. And tell everybody where you are. I'm in Seattle recording this, and you're on the other side of the planet. Let everybody know where you're from today.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I am speaking from Zanzibar, Tanzania, in the beautiful island here. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's off the eastern coast of Africa for those who may not be familiar with their world maps. So thank you so much, Brenda, for being here. And so let's jump into your story before we get to all of the great work that you're doing with Barefoot College, which I can't wait to hear about. But I want to learn about you. So tell me a little bit about you. Where were you born and what's your life journey like?
So I was born a lot of years ago in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Dar es Salaam is located in the mainland. So in Tanzania, we have mainland and then we have island, which involves two islands. But I was born in mainland in Dar es Salaam. That's where I grew up. And I went to school in Dar es Salaam, but for university, I went to like in the regions, not because Dar es Salaam is more like a commercial town. So I
Okay.
went in the region. So I studied my first degree at Mzumbe University in Morogoro. And then after my degree, I started looking for jobs because that's how it is. But again, I'm a second born in my family out of 4 girls.
Okay.
So you could imagine why I love issues of women and girls and all that, because at home there was no like you should do this because you're a lady. No, every work is for women and girls and everybody. That's how my parents used to like raise us. So if it's cleaning the cars, you can go and clean as well. If it's cleaning the house, it's like everything. If it's studies, like everything, it was not done because you're just a woman or you're not a girl. No, gender was nothing. That didn't change anything in my parents' mind. So I grew up in Dar. I started my first work after graduation in mainland as well, and I was actually working with profit organization back then. But I started getting into these women leadership trainings. And when I was there, I had mentors that we of course we were given. But
Sure.
uh, as I was getting mentored, and you have a lot of coaches and a lot of mentors who help you grow as a young leader. So when I was there, I was like, maybe I need to like switch something in my life. Maybe I need to change in terms of career wise. And then on my leave, I would do some of the voluntary work in the region that I had my first degree. So I would go there because there was issues relating to cholera outbreak.
Okay.
And one of the reason was because people didn't use toilets at all. So in my leave as a volunteer, I would go to these villages, teach them important of using toilets, important of like how safe it is to use toilet, and cholera, the symptoms and the preventive measures, just to educate them. So I came up with new interest. I wanted to work with non-profit organization, and I
Sure.
started looking for those kind of jobs. So I didn't have experience in project management or evaluation, but I started having short courses in program monitoring and evaluation. That's when I got a new interest. I say, okay, I have to go into this. So uh, at the beginning, I was doing with other organization, and again, it was more about young girls who got pregnant, and then
Okay.
they drop out of school. So my task was to go see these girls, try to change their minds. You know, they are already frustrated because again they drop out of school, their friends are still in school and all that, and they're also pregnant. Others, they even already give birth, so they don't have income, they don't have education. So we first train them to, like, okay, you need to change your mindset, and then the program also connect them with different vocational trainings. So if it's carpentry, if it's a mechanic, if it's a repairing of AC and all those, so we make sure that we connect them with vocational centers so they could employ themselves. Yeah,
Nice.
so that was
Nice. Nice.
mostly, but again, I was working with one of the Danish company where they would put camps in Zanzibar. That's when I started coming to Zanzibar, and we
Okay.
would check people's eyes and offer them free glasses. But as well, if they have big issues as far as their eyes is concerned, we take them to the hospital. So I saw that, okay, maybe working with nonprofit is really nice because I feel like I'm using my knowledge to change other people's life,
Yeah.
which is something that I was happy to do that. So when I saw opportunity at Barefoot in Zanzibar, I said, why not? Let me go try. Actually, my parents was a bit like, you're going to work in Zanzibar. Mind you, I grew up in mainland. Our home is in Dar es Salaam, which is the capital city, I'll say commercial city in Tanzania, and then I'm going to Zanzibar. So most of people leave Zanzibar to go to mainland to look for jobs. And for me, it
Yeah.
was actually vice
And
versa.
you going back. Yeah. Yeah. Let
Yeah.
me
And
ask you a
again,
question.
yes.
Oh, go ahead. No, please go ahead.
Yeah, and again, most of people coming to Zanzibar are coming to work in hotels. But for me, it was
Mm.
an NGO. So I had to use a lot of time convince my parents that I'm going to work here. But again, I wanted to move out of Dar es Salaam because Dar es Salaam, as I mentioned, is commercial town. It's too much traffic whenever you go to work. So I'm spending a lot of time on the road. I said, I want to move out of Dar. So that's when I made a decision. So I came to Zanzibar officially in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I take you back in time to your childhood a little bit, and then we'll catch up to 2019 when you start in Zanzibar at the Barefoot College NGO. But you said something earlier about your childhood. You're the second of four girls, and your parents treated you all with equity, with gender equity, that you weren't treated differently because you were a girl. Was that is that how your parents treated you? Is that the norm for your community, or is there generally some difference between the way boys and girls are raised in your community, so that your parents were doing something unique, or was that kind of how it was in the community you grew up in?
I'll say it differs.
Okay.
Uh, I grew up in Da. In Da, as I mentioned earlier, it's a town. It's more like a
Right.
town area.
Right.
But if you go to rural areas, it's not the same.
Okay.
In rural areas, women are more raised to like be mothers, nurse kids, take care of people who are sick at home. Those are the kind of work that a woman should do most of the time. But when you come to town, there are still people in town which are practicing things happening in rural areas. But at least if you have parents who are very understanding, or parents who have a bit of exposure, they will help you. But if I'll say it depends on certain cultures.
Sure.
But most of the time in rural areas, it's very rare to see a woman go to school because again the environment is not even good for you. Walk 5 kilometers, 7 kilometers to just reach the school. So sometimes you say, okay, let me just sit home and relax. And again, better these days, but back in the days, the priority was mostly for men to go to school because relative will say, you'll get married soon, you'll move outside home. So why would we train you? Why should we train you while you are going to move out? You're going to get married in another clan, so you'll develop another clan instead of developing us. So
Sure.
these
Sure.
kind are the cases most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for helping put some context around that, so that the audience who might not be familiar can understand the circumstances a little bit better, and that the opportunities that you had to go and get an education and go to university and really changed your life. Not everyone has those opportunities, particularly in those rural areas. So that helps set the stage and understanding for the important work that you're doing now with Barefoot College. So, um, it sounds like you had this desire to give back and support others for much of your life, with all of the work that you did. Working with young mothers and helping folks with their eyesight and their vision, and now what you're doing with the Barefoot College. Is that something that was instilled in you by your parents as well, or what kind of happened in your life that you realized, rather than going and just going down a business path or making money, or growing that direction, you took a career path that you're giving back, and you're supporting others. How did that come to be for you? Was that again from your childhood, or just kind of your natural progression in your career?
I think it's just I think I felt happy doing something, and then you see the impact of it just there. Like you train a person about toilets. Imagine training an older woman about importance of having toilet, and the lady asked me, why do we need toilets? I'm 50 years old. I've never suffered from cholera. So why would I have a toilet today? Since I was grow up, since I was in my parents' house, now I'm married, we never had toilet. How would you convince this 50-year-old person that toilet is important, while she has never used one for 50 years of her life,
Yeah.
and then you tell her, and then she go and be the change maker. She go and tell other people in her community that toilet is very important. I was like, okay, this is the job that I want to do. Like, you see the actual impact in the community at hand.
Yeah.
And I think that's more like my passion. That's more like what makes me happy. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that story. I thank you for kind of describing it in such a real life way, that the impact that you're having, that you can help one person, and then that one person then continues to help others in their community, and then others and others, and all started with your spark of passion
Yeah.
and your desire to help others. That's such a powerful story. So thank you for sharing that. That makes me happy.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. That's what I love to capture on this show, speaking with people like you, and the joy you get from helping others, but the real difference that you're making is beautiful to me. So thank you for that.
Thank
Um,
you.
so, do you, your sisters, your three other sisters, and did they all go off in different directions as well? And are you the only one of your family kind of doing the NGO work, or is it something that is others in your family are also doing similar work as well?
So far, I'm the only one in a non-profit sector. Yeah,
Yeah.
but my other sisters are still in school, so
Okay.
I'm not sure what their career path or what they want to do. But yeah, my
Sure.
sister is a teacher, and the one after me works with the government as well. So not in non-profit sector at all. Yeah,
Sure. Still teaching and government work is still service, so they're still helping others. So that seems to be
yeah.
a wonderful trait running through your family. So
Thank
um
you.
so tell me a bit, Brenda, and educate me and those who are listening or watching. Tell me a little bit about the island, about Tanzania. You said most people leave the island to go to the mainland to go to work, and you kind of did the opposite, to go out and work out there and help others. Um, it sounds like it's a resort island as well. That there's some industry there for tourism and whatnot. But what is life like on the island for an average resident?
So I'd say, if you're a tourist and you visit Zanzibar, you will see beautiful hotels, you'll see all the fancy things, because you're a tourist and they'll take you to
Right,
nice places.
right.
But again, there are still people who are struggling uh, for even food at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, so you have every kind of income. So you have those one who have income and even extra, and then you have those one that they have to wake up, find food for the day, and go back to sleep, and then tomorrow again wake up early, go find another meal for the day. Yeah, if they stay home, if they are sick, the family is not eating. We have those
Yeah,
kind of people as well. Yeah.
yeah. So there's
So in 20, should I proceed?
yeah. Please. Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't mean to interrupt.
In
But yes.
2019, it's when I saw a post. It was actually a position in Zanzibar called Enrich Coordinator at Barefoot College. So Enrich is more like a life skills training, because I'm going into the next question slowly.
Yeah. No, yeah.
If you
Good.
have
That's
a
You're doing great.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Please tell
Yes.
me
So I
more
saw
about
this
the about
post,
your yeah.
Enrich Coordinator, and I was looking at the description. So I've already started learning this short course on project management. And then I saw this post. I was like, I fit here. Let me apply. So I applied. I was called for the first interview, second interview, and the third one, I got it. So the post was actually training, because Barefoot College Zanzibar, we work with women who have never been to school. Most of them, they don't know how to read or write. And most of the women, I'll say 100% of the women that we work with are from the rural communities.
Yeah.
So we take them to our center. We have a center in the northern part of the island. We train them. We have different programs. We have solar energy, we have beekeeping, we have tailoring, we have regenerative agriculture, and then you have what is called enrich or life skills training. So enrich, it's a core curriculum. Whether you come to learn solar, beekeeping, any program, you will have also to be trained on enrich.
Go through that program. Okay.
Yes. And why was it developed? It was developed because, as I mentioned earlier, we are working with women who have never been to school. So they don't know a lot of things which surrounds them. They don't know like how even to make decision. They don't know about their health. They don't know about their rights, So we introduced this program specifically for women to be able to be leaders when they go back to their communities. So for me, that was the best moment of my life with all going on, but being a trainer in that class was the best moment ever. Until today, I have another position, but I still attend those classes and I'm still a trainer. One of the reasons is because with Enrich, the way it's designed to, even if I'm a trainer, I'm also a trainee because I'm also learning from women. And again, most of the rural women, they don't have a room to share about their lives. They don't have a room to share about what they are struggling with. Because in the villages, they will wake up, going to the farm, washing dishes, washing clothes, cooking, and then they go to sleep. You don't have anybody you talk to. You don't have those kind of people. So when they come to the center, for them it's more like a vacation because they have never even relaxed like that. And some
Yeah.
of our
Wow.
programs are residential, so they sleep at the center.
Wow.
One thing, so the program is designed with curriculum like topics like self-awareness and aspiration. You find that maybe in the class, if there is a lot of people, maximum there are 12 people. You give them an assignment and you say, come present, because most of them, they don't know how to read and write, so they will draw.
Okay.
And in the picture, say, come present to us. Let's say most of the time we give them assignment like, you need to think, what do you aspire in the next 5 years or in the next 3 years? You don't have to write. You just draw any picture that you yourself you understand and come with your paper in front of us to present. Mind you, we are only 12 people in the class.
Yeah.
And mamas will be hiding their faces like this with the paper. And sometimes they are shaking. You can see it in their hand. Why? It's because they never stood in front of anybody and speak before.
Yeah. They were never given that chance. Yeah.
Yeah, they never given those chance. So now that you are giving this chance, and again, these women are older. Some are 40, some are 50, like they're older women. So it's really empowering. After a few months, you see this same mother that was very shaky with the paper challenge even you. So for me, that's one of the best part of my work that I really love. So we have curriculum like self-awareness and aspiration. We want them to know the gender roles. We want them to aspire more. Like they can be leaders as well. They can be, somebody because they will live, let's say, at the center as solar engineers. You are just a mother at home. Now you are a solar engineer. How should a
Right.
solar engineer even act? We train them, but again, aspiration, which is very important. And this lesson, we always do it at the beginning and at the end when they're about to leave. So you'll find that in the beginning, they always mention, I want to own, let's say, a cow. I want to build my mother a house. Those are the aspirations that they had. But in the last session, when we repeat the same thing, it's completely new words. It's not material things. It's more like I want to empower more women. I want to be a leader. I want to be a change maker. So you see, this is really changed.
That's
Again, we have
incredible.
issues like health, about their health, how let's say body organs. uh because for example, for me, I know body organs because I went to school, I learned biology, and now I know the function. But for a person who didn't go to school, it's very rare to find that they know the functions of their
Sure.
body organs. So we always play games, and we'll give women body, and say what kind of body, body is this, uh, what kind of organ is this, and what kind of the function does it have. So everybody, but again, we invite outsiders. So sometimes we invite a medical doctor, because women have a lot of questions. As long, for example, when we are talking about menstruation, or when we are talking about reproductive health, contraceptive
Sure.
methods, they always have a lot of questions. So it's very important for us to invite even outsiders. Barefoot College Zanzibar, it's a center which is in across East Africa. So sometimes we also invite people from, we take trainees from outside the country. Last year we had trained women from Somaliland, for example. So
Okay.
when they came, and they always come with a translator, we ask them, what kind of health problem do you have most of the time in Somaliland? So, for example, in Zanzibar, I'll say malaria and cholera. Those are very common. So the
Yeah.
doctor will talk about malaria, doctor will talk about cholera. For Somaliland, the problem was FGM, female genital mutilation.
Oh wow.
It's like, yeah. So
Yeah.
when
Wow.
we called in the doctor was explaining. So there are some women who say, no, we came here to be solar engineers, not for you to brainwash us with FGM. Or it's not good, it's not what. So there are some people, again, who would want to listen and to know what's happening. And there are those people who would say, no, we don't want to listen to you, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
it's a
that's
big
what.
culture
There are
change.
those who are ready to change, and then there are those ones who it takes time for them to change. It's not like they don't want to change, but it takes times
Sure.
for them
Change
to
is hard.
change. Yeah.
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 And
So
these
again, we teach them about nutrition, importance of having proper meals. A lot of people currently are eating a lot of carbs because again it's cheaper, it's easy to get the carbs. But we give them like fake plates and say, draw a food that you really want to see in your plate. And then
yeah.
for the rest of the month that you are here at the center, we want you to eat this, what you drew here. So we are training them to be, again, responsible for everything they are doing in their lives.
Yeah. It's
We
such
also have
a
rights, responsibilities. We teach them rights, like what are the women rights? What are the children rights? We use pictures. We use a lot of pictures. Let's say a girl washing dishes, a boy saying bye, he's going to school. And we ask mamas, is this happening to your community? Are you sending only your male kid to school and you let the female stay home to help you with house chores? So we discuss. There are women who say, yes, my husband doesn't want that. There are women who say, no, I send all my kids to school. So we discuss. And this is the good thing about the project. It's like we don't force them to change. It's them who decide that this is
ah,
right or this is
yeah,
wrong. And
I
then we'll
like that.
take this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you give them give them the information and then allow them to decide what's best for them and their family and their situation. You're just helping educate them and give them more ideas and let them see that there's other things that they might not have learned yet or know about. So I like that approach that you're not kind of forcing anybody to do anything. You're giving them the opportunity to learn and grow, and they can then choose what they want to do with that information. So sounds like a really powerful way of helping these people in their situations, which is so. I imagine certainly from my experience, and I imagine for much of my audience listening to this, it's a different experience that we grew up in, and it's really sounds incredible what you're doing and the help that you're providing to the women from these rural areas of Tanzania. Can you tell me a little bit, and I do want to dig in a little bit deeper about some of the programs and projects like the solar engineering and beekeeping and things. But before we jump in and going deeper into some of those skills that you're training these women on, can you tell me a bit about Barefoot College itself? I understand it's an organization that started in India, and kind of founded under some of the principles of Mahatma Gandhi. But can you just educate me on what Barefoot College is, and then we can go a little bit deeper into some of the other programs that you're now working on and supporting. So, Barefoot College, did I get that right? Did it start in India, or so? Can you educate me on that?
Yes. So it's true. It started in India a lot of years ago. And then in 2011 is when the movement started in Zanzibar. So we didn't have the center that we have currently. We used to take women from Zanzibar to India,
Oh, wow.
and they'll stay there for 6 months to learn
Wow.
about solar.
That's a
So
big
these
change. Yeah.
women, yeah, these women, they have never been outside their villages.
Right.
And as I mentioned, most of them, they don't know how to read or write. So imagine traveling to a new country for the first time by yourself
Yeah.
to go and meet the teachers who speak English and Hindi while you speak Swahili. And it's a new
Yeah.
environment for 6 months. So you can imagine how women felt, but again, they were ready to go.
Yeah, the bravery and courage to do that, but also I'm sure fear to do that. That's amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
There
you
are
said,
some. There are some of the women. So I'll just take you. I'll tell you shortly how we get these women. So in Zanzibar, even before we started the center, government has always been on our side.
okay,
The revolutionary government of Zanzibar. So we partner with different ministries. In 2011 until 2014, the women that went to India, in total they were 13. So they went in different batches. Some traveled 2, some traveled 3, but it was in between 2011 to 2014. Uh, these women are from the villages which are not connected to the grid, to the national, to the electricity grid of the
yeah,
nation.
sure,
So they don't have power.
sure,
Most of them, they are using kerosene lamps. They are using torch. Few of them who can purchase batteries. Others are using candles. But most of people are using kerosene lamp because at least kerosene is not very expensive. But also, yeah, torch is for those people who can afford batteries because torch at least you can go outside. Because
yeah,
at night, if you go with the candle, it's like the wind will blow it out. Or the kerosene
and
lamp. Yeah.
to to mm, just clarify, for the term torch is probably more commonly understood in the United States as a flashlight.
Mhm.
So just want to, so it's a battery powered handheld flashlight called a torch. There here, just so people understand what you're. I just wanted to clarify that, so people might not get confused with the difference of terminologies. But sorry. So continue. Those who have had the ability to buy batteries would have torches versus the candles, because it's obviously a better uh, uh, light source in the evening. So that's again, and kerosene, you said, is a also relatively inexpensive to purchase in the rural communities. Did I hear you correctly?
Yes, that's true. Kerosene is expensive. I don't know the current price, but it's 1 point something USD per liter.
Okay,
Yes,
so
1.5 maybe or 1.6 USD per liter. So if you have, let's say, 4 kerosene lamps in a house, then you can just use that one for 2 days and it's over.
it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So we
So
work with the government. We select these women. And again, the 13 women who went to India and from 2011 to 2014, they are now the master trainers, because in 2014, the previous president of Zanzibar, Dr. Shein, visited India. He was very impressed with the project, and he met some of the mama from Zanzibar in India. He said, instead of bringing all these women to India, please do the project in Zanzibar.
Yeah.
So even the land where we build our center, we was given by the Honorable President. Yeah.
Nice.
So
That's
13 women, they become master trainers. Now they're the ones teaching other women at the center. And how we get these women again, we work with government, as I mentioned. So we write a letter to different agencies. Most of it is Zanzibar Electrical Corporations, where they'll give us the list of villages. Also, sometimes Zanzibar Utility Regulatory Authority, they'll give us a list of the villages which are not yet connected to the grid.
yeah.
After they shared with us the list, what we do is we go visit these villages to see, do they also fit barefoot standards? Because for us as well, we work with the communities which are not connected to the grid. That's one. But again, they are very far to be reached. Sometimes you don't even have roads, you don't have any social services, you don't have hospital, you don't have dispensary, you don't have anything. So
Wow.
we want to work with those communities which are very, very far to be reached, because we believe that as soon as we reach there, other NGOs will also join us. And again, we work in Zanzibar with a lot of partners. So it's easy to convince them after we have done something to them already.
Yeah, sure.
So those are the kind of the community that we work with. So we already identify the villages. We go meet the chief of that village first. That's number one. We talk to the chief, and then we say, Chief, can you please call in for a public meeting? We want to call all the members of the community. We want to select 2 women from this village to come with us to our center. Solar program is a 3-month training. Before it was 5 months, now it's 3 months. So all the 3 months they are staying at the center without going home.
Yeah.
So we have criteria, and whenever there's a public meeting, when it's called, it's a master trainer. There were women that went to India, actually, convincing the community. And because they are also examples, they are also role models, it's easy
Sure.
to get women.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they'll also attract those women to join us, because they'll be saying, okay, you just like me, I didn't go to school, I did, but at the end of the day, I'm a solar engineer. I electrified my community, so you can also do the same. And again, we are your teachers. We know how it's a problem, or it's a struggle for a person who have never been to school to be in a class.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we knows everything, and then mamas are comfortable to join our programs. And again, when they come to the center, of course, when I'm talking about this, it seems very easy, but most of the time it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, it doesn't seem easy to me at all. It seems like, yeah, very, very, every step of the way seems like there's challenges and that the women that you serve have to overcome and just your work. Then it's, so yeah, it's incredibly important, but it doesn't sound easy.
So one thing which is always a struggle for us is women getting access, like permission from their husbands.
Sure,
That's one of
sure.
the things
Wow.
which is, yeah.
Yeah.
So one
Yeah.
of the criteria that we have actually for solar program is for a woman to be at least 35 years old, because that age in Zanzibar, most sometimes you're already a grandmother, 35 years
Yeah,
old.
you've already, yeah, you're sure. That makes
Yeah,
sense. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So we
there's,
want women who are like that, like women who have roots to the village. Women
yeah,
who, after training, they will return to their villages and they will do installation. And again, they'll be responsible for maintenance and repairing of the equipment.
yeah.
So that's how it is.
Well, it's so, I'm sure, transformative to these villages, then when the women come back with this education and this ability to harness solar power to provide energy to the community, to their homes, to their neighbors' homes. I'm sure it's transformative, not just for the women who go to do the training, but obviously how much benefit they're bringing back to their village and their community. That sounds incredible. So, do you have any like success stories that you can share about how um, that transformation has occurred in someone who's been trained and then they've gone back and the difference that they've made in their home village?
We have a lot of successful
Yeah, I'm
stories, a
sure.
lot of them.
Can
So
you
I'll
share
tell
one?
you a few. I'll
Please,
tell you
please.
a few. Uh, one of the mama, her name is Fatuma Juma Haji. She's 58 currently. She went to India in the first batch. So she's from one of, we are living in the big island, but again, there are small, small islands as well inside the big island. So
Yeah.
she lives in one of the small island called Panza in Pemba Island. And when she went to India, her family approved of her and all that. And then she came back with equipment. She electrified the whole village. One day we went to visit her, and everybody treats her like she's a queen. That's how everybody feel like. So we actually did one of the successful stories with her because she was featured in the Dubai Expo film documentary where we opportunity. The theme was opportunity. So she took opportunity to go to India, and now she changed the whole life of the villages. We interviewed students who used to get burned because they'll be studying in the evening, fall
Wow.
asleep, and then they
Yeah.
just catch fires and they are all burned.
Oh no.
We interviewed fishermen. It's an island, so a lot of people are into fishing. Fishermen who used to complain that they will come home from fishing 3 a.m., 2 a.m. to find that everything smells like kerosene when they're cleaning up their fish. And the
Yeah.
next day, nobody will sell it. We interviewed
Yeah.
some villagers who used to have snake bites because at night when it's 6, nobody do anything in the community. Like the day ends at 6 p.m. We
Yeah.
interviewed shopkeepers who say they will open up their shops at 7 a.m., close before 6, before dark, because if they have to sell, who will come? It's like a probability. It's already dark everywhere. Nobody wants to go outside because of a lot of snake bites.
Right.
Who would want to come? But again, if I stay longer, means I have to sell everything with the kerosene lamp in my hand. And then I'm selling sweets, I'm selling food things. Again, that's already a problem. So
Right.
sometimes you don't see that. But those are the things you can actually see from the villages. Again, with Mama Fatima herself, she's now a role model. She actually told us one day that even my kids and my grandkids are looking at me as a role model. Like my grandmother is going up on the roof, putting the panel. I want to do more than her. Before, in her time when she was
Yes.
growing up, she didn't have any role model. For her, it was seeing your mother washing dishes, cleaning every day. Every
Yeah.
day. You don't see it. So for her, she's happy now that even the fact that her kids want to achieve more than what she has achieved. I remember in 2018, she traveled to Russia. We always get to be invited in different meetings. So actually, the person who invited us could only find one person to go.
Yeah.
So normally she will always travel with somebody who can help her with English because she doesn't speak English. But for Russia, we said, no, this is an opportunity. We can't miss it. Please go. You wouldn't get lost. So she traveled from Zanzibar to Russia by herself. And the moment she came back from the trip, she said, I want to learn English. That will be the first thing I want to do. And
Wow.
now she speaks good English more than I. So
That's
you can
wonderful.
imagine how I'll say this training has changed the people's lives. When I was
Yeah.
interviewing her, she said she had to wait for money from her husband. Everything from husband. At least now she even have respect in her community because she can make decision for the family. She doesn't have to wait for the husband all the time. So these are the things we have. Like you see how women changed even from the way they speak to you. When they
Yeah.
just came to the center, they are very shy. Most of them are looking down when you talk to them. But few months later, they are talking to you and even question, like, why is this here? Why is this not there? Like, maybe it will be better if we do this. So you see how the program has really transformed these women. Yeah. But again, talking of the number of impact, so far
Yeah.
we have trained 65 women. So we have 9 from Somaliland, we have 2 from Malawi, and then the rest are from Zanzibar. In Zanzibar itself, we have electrified more than 1,800 houses.
That's incredible. The
So,
ripple
yeah.
effect of change and benefit from just those 65 women is incredible. Just the benefit and the multi-generational change that's happening and the multi-generational improvement for quality of life and just so amazing. I'm literally, I had to wipe a tear from my eye. I mean, I'm so full of joy hearing this story that your passion for this work and the absolute uplifting of individual women, but uplifting then that they're doing for their own families and their communities is just really such a beautiful and powerful story. It's incredible.
Thank you.
So the solar, there's beekeeping and other skill sets, so you really kind of have a number of ways that you're helping educate and give real tangible skills to these women.
Yeah.
So Brenda, what can we do, what can I do, what can people listening or watching this like what can we do to support you, or what or help your mission and continue to help you expand this incredible work that you're doing in Tanzania?
Yeah. Thank you very much again for your kind words on the impact that we have. Because of time, of course, I wouldn't share a lot of successful story, but on this year when we were celebrating International Women's Day,
Yeah.
we trained farmers. Nowadays, especially in Zanzibar, like I know it's across the world, but in rural areas where women don't have any education about climate change, they're like in a puzzle, like what's happening.
Sure.
Farmers are
Wow.
the
Never
ones,
thought.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
farmers are the ones who are feeding the whole island. And then maybe we were supposed to have rain in March, but there is no single day when it rained. So
Yeah.
farmers are stuck. It's like, what's happening?
Wow.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. So most of if you go to the villages, most of say, it's the end of the world these days. So for them, they are confused. What should we do? We need to eat. We need to sell our product to eat. That's why we came up with an idea of regenerative agriculture. We train these women about how to tackle the impact of the climate change
Wow.
using the compost, mulching methods, like all these techniques, so they could at least skip the impact of climate change in their farm. So it was very helpful. But again, we provide them with equipment, which again they'll go and practice better farming techniques. We visit women and say, sometimes the livestock will come into my farm and try to eat my products. If you give me fence, it will save because the livestock wouldn't get in. Or sometimes
Yeah.
there's no rain, but we train them how to harvest rainwater when it's raining. If I have a bigger tank, if I just have a tank, I'll save some water to put it in the soil. So small things they need. For example, for our beekeeping program, we had a very big problem in Zanzibar of deforestation. People are cutting trees and sell as firewood. Others are making charcoals, but they are cutting trees is because they don't know the importance of preserving the trees, or they don't know that with the same trees they could actually earn more money, more than when they cut it and make charcoal or sell firewood. That's why we even introduce the beekeeping, because we say we'll train you to become a sustainable beekeeper, and then you will not be killing bees, because others like they have inherited the beehives from their parents, but they don't know how to use it well. So we will we will train you on how to be sustainable, how you can open beehives without bees stinging you. You get the protective gear, you give you gloves, we give you gumboots, and then you can harvest your honey, come to us, sell to us. We'll buy it in a very good price. Barefoot College Zanzibar, we have very good connection with hotels in Zanzibar. They purchase honey from us. So nice. It's already I would say it's already a business to business kind of relationship. So instead of cutting trees, preserve them. Bees love trees. They pollinate even the crops, a lot of things that we have, So most of the time it's because they lack education. But if we give them education, it helps them to make good decisions. So to answer your question about what we could, the listeners could support us. So we have a lot of trainers. We have the facilities. If we could double the impact through their support, it will be great. Yeah.
So can people go to your website and support you online that way, or what's the best way for people to provide you that support if they're inspired by this story and they want to contribute?
Yes, so if you go to our website, Barefoot College Zanzibar, there is a place where you can do donation. But again, if you reach out to us with our email from the website again, we'll give you all the instruction until you can donate. Yes. Perfect. But there is a direct place in the website where you can go straightly and donate. And we really appreciate. And again, in our social medias, we are in Instagram, we have Facebook, Barefoot College Zanzibar. If you go in, you check also LinkedIn, you will see updates of different activities and the program that we run. Yes. Perfect.
I will put all of your contact information on the show notes page, so people can go and get all that information and follow you on social media and reach out to you on your website as well, and hopefully give support, give contributions and support so that you can continue doing the incredible work that you're doing. And I thank you for sharing the story about the beekeeping as well. I think it's brilliant, the business connections that you've already made to really help take that barrier away from the people from trying to figure out how to sell the honey. You've already solved that problem for them, so they just can continue to prosper and do so in a sustainable way. All of that is so brilliant and so impressive, and I'm hopeful that you'll get some support from coming on the show. I'm incredibly grateful that you took time out to share this all with me, and so Brenda, I do want to transition into the future a little bit with you. We end every episode of Stories Sustain Us by talking about hope. And your whole story is so filled with hope. And it's such an uplifting story. But I know there's more to be done and more that you want to do and more that you want to accomplish. So hope is this idea. It's not just a feeling. It's really a mindset. So I want to ask you about hope. So the first question, Brenda, is what is your hope for a better future? And this can be for you or for your profession or for the world. Like, what's your vision for a better future?
Mhm. So for me, the vision for the better future, I'll say it's seeing women, especially rural women, outside, in the big picture, doing a lot of fancy things. And again, I forget just to mention this. A lot of time when I'm doing a presentation or I'm saying that we are training rural women, people are asking me, why rural women? And I will always tell them, women from the rural areas, they don't have access to smartphones. They don't have access to the internet. If I am staying home, it's easy for me to just, uh, go over my phone. I'll get opportunities. I'll apply. But for a person who lives in the rural communities, don't have access to all of this, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So I always tell and advise fellow like other NGOs, please also focus on rural women. It's really important. Yeah.
So
So for me, my vision is seeing women from rural areas also involved in decision making, involved in the country, involved in a lot of activities. Yeah.
perfect. So the second question in your whole everything you've talked about, I think, is an answer to the second question. But I want to make sure you have an opportunity to expand more if you'd like to. But why? Why do you want to see more rural women be trained and given these educational opportunities?
So with over 6 years of working with them, I believe that rural women are very innovative and rural women are very brainy.
So the last question, I don't know if you heard it before the power
Yeah,
cut out.
yeah.
So let's just ask one more time, and then see if we can capture that answer. Just um, how will it make you feel when your vision of the future is happening, and it's no longer just a vision, but it's reality. It's what's happening. That more women are being trained, and more opportunities are provided to rural women. How does that make you feel?
I think as a human being, I feel really I feel like everybody is involved. I feel like every decision which is made, it's involved anybody, everyone. So for me, I feel like it's more like my dream came true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Well, Brenda, thank you so much for taking time out to speak with me, and I really hope your dream comes true, and that you continue to get the support that you need, so that you can continue to provide all of these amazing opportunities to the women of rural Tanzania. So thank you for joining me today on Stories Sustain Us, and I'll leave you with the final word. If there's anything else you'd like to say to the audience before we go.
Thank you very much for listening to us, and I really appreciate, and I hope you visit our social media and website so we could double our impact, so we could empower more women, so we can create more role models in the communities. We really appreciate. Thank you very much, Stephen.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Brenda, and I wish you and everyone there all the best. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
What a wonderful conversation with Brenda Geofrey, the country director with Barefoot College International in Zanzibar. In today's episode, we explored how Brenda is transforming the lives of rural women through education, skills training, and community engagement. We heard inspiring stories of women becoming solar engineers, beekeepers, tailors, and regenerative farmers, often without having ever set foot in a formal classroom. We learned about the Enrich program and how it builds leadership among women, and how Brenda's work is equipping them not just with skills, but with confidence, dignity, and the power to change their communities. Personally, I'm deeply moved by Brenda's compassionate and clear-eyed vision of what's possible when women in rural Tanzania are given the opportunity to thrive. Her work touches on so many aspects of global sustainability, from ending poverty and promoting sustainable agriculture to empowering women and girls, ensuring lifelong learning, and expanding access to clean, modern energy solutions. Brenda's helping build a world where no one is left behind. And in doing so, she's modeling what true sustainability looks like: equity, education, and opportunity for all. I want to thank Brenda for joining us on Stories Sustain Us and for the incredible work she's doing to uplift women, light homes, and make the world a better, more just place, one village at a time. To everyone listening or watching, I hope you're as inspired as I am by Brenda's story. If you're wondering how you can take action, here are a few ways. Support the work of Barefoot College International in Zanzibar. Share their story, donate if you're able, or learn more about how to get involved. Advocate for women's education and access to clean energy in your own community. Mentor a young person. Volunteer with a local nonprofit, or explore how regenerative practices can take root in your own backyard. Even small actions can ripple out into big changes. So thank you for being here with me today. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it with your family and friends, liking and following the show, and leaving a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to join me next time on Stories Sustain Us when I speak with an inspirational leader working at the intersection of faith and sustainability. Through interfaith collaboration, this changemaker is equipping communities to honor sacred waters, become faithful stewards, and restore the health of our shared watersheds. Catch the next episode of Stories Sustain Us on April 29th at storiessustainus.com, wherever you listen to podcasts, and on YouTube. Thank you again for spending part of your day with me. Keep doing what you can to make the world a better place. Your actions really do matter. Till next time, I'm Stephen Shower. Please take care of yourself and each other. Take care.